What up, what up, what up? What's going on, my beautiful people? It's Henry Wallace at Thrifty Used Cars and Tires, and we're living the buy here, pay here dream. Today's episode, we're gonna talk about everything that I wish I knew before I opened up a buy here, pay here lot. Where you get certain things from, certain supplies, what you need when you first open, all the different little things like that is what's gonna be in this episode. Things that you might not hear anyplace else, the companies that I've used since we've been open, you know? And then we're gonna talk about our results a little bit, how we've been doing, the repos we've been having, different things like that. But helpful hints, different places we use, different companies we use to help you start your buy here, pay here drop so you can live the buy here, pay here dream. That's what's in today's episode. Stay tuned. So you open up your car lot and you're trying to figure out which companies you should use, which companies you shouldn't use. I made me a little list here to go over with you guys, the different things that we use. I want to make this point very clear. I only have 1,000 followers so far. Thank you for the 1,000 followers. But I'm not getting paid a penny yet. Maybe one day I will be. So this is all free knowledge I'm putting out there just to help people out. You know, and I'm willing to answer questions. You call a dealership, and if I'm around, and I will be glad to answer your questions. And I answer most of the comments on Facebook. I try to help people out as best way I can, because when I first opened up, I was struggling a little bit. You know, for the first couple months, I struggled, and then once I got my feet and knew what I was doing, and figured out what plan I was going to go with, it took off from there, and it's only been taking off every year. Like last month, we sold 62 cars. It's the last time I talked to you. We sold 62 last month, and we're at 38 so far this month. So we're on pace to sell over 780 cars this year. It's unbelievable. But I'm telling you about how we first started and just going over the starting stuff, things that you need to know, okay? What I've always used for my software for the when I open is Frazier. Frazier DMS is the system I use. It's real easy. I didn't use hosted at first. I used the cheap one. When it's just you, and if you're going to have another employee, you don't need to get the hosted yet. You can go with the cheaper one, which is like $200 a year. And I used that for my first 3 years. Not until I hired my third employee did I go with the hosted Frazier. Hosted just means it's cloud-based. You can log in from anywhere. But Frazier does everything you need to do in buy here, pay here. Real easy, not too expensive, and it's a good deal. You can figure it out pretty easily on your own, but they also have videos online that goes over everything. But you're going to need a DMS. Frazier's the one I used. A lot of people use it, so there's a lot of people that could help you with it. It does. It's a couple of things I wish it was different about, but 95% of the way I'm 100%, 95%, I'm happy with it. You know, 95% of it's a class act, and the price is not too bad. Especially for the one if you're not going to get the hosted one, if you put it into your computer and save it on your hard drive, it's not bad at all. The cloud one gets a little more expensive. I think it's like $270 a month, something towards that effect. But it covers all. See how many employees I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of us could be on it at the same time for that subscription, and that ain't too bad. I can log in from home if I'm sick. I could go if I'm on vacation. I can check out what's going on. I can see how many cars we sold. I can see everything I need to know. You can do on hosted. So Frazier's the operating system I use. Web page. You're gonna need a web page. No matter what, web page and Google are two things you're gonna need. When you set up your Google, you want to set that up first. One of the first things you do before you open is set up your Google with your web page address on it, what your address is, your operation hours, and different things like that. You're gonna get reviews on Google. And Google can give you some stats and stuff too. Once you get enough people that look for your listing, then you can subscribe for their stats, and it tells you different things you can look at to help yourself advertise. And then Dealer Car Search. I use Dealer Car Search as an app that can enter all the cars from your phone into the system. Real easy to use. They got different templates, and got buy here, pay here templates. One of the problems you have when you open up on web pages, most places a lot of places don't do buy here, pay here. So finding a web page that's buy here, pay here friendly is a little difficult. But Dealer Car Search has, I think, about 3 or 4 of them. They got like 75, 100 of them you can choose from. 3 or 4 of them you can set up real easy for buy here, pay here. Most of the time you go to another used car lot, first thing they ask you for is credit app and different things like that. We don't get them to fill out a credit app. We get references, but we don't do credit apps. because that's not how our program's based. So you don't have to do credit apps either. If you wanted to, you can. We get permission to run their credit when they sign different forms from Frazier. And Frazier gives you all the forms too that'll make it nice and legal. When you sell a car for your state, everything you know, and every year they update it, so it keeps you legal, keeps you compliant. It's a good deal, and you know, it's real easy. I picked it up in no matter of time, and every one of my employees have picked it up in no matter of time. So Frazier, Dealer Car Search is the webpage, because you can use the app to get the pictures out real quick from your phone, and it's all in, and you can go online, change up how you want. But Dealer Car Search, and it's not too. I think I pay $170 a month for them. Not too bad. But you're gonna need, in today's world, you need a web page, and the better you are taking pictures of the car, the better the more cars you'll sell. It sounds crazy, but it's a whole new world. A lot of people buy cars just from what they see your pictures. Your pictures that you put on the internet, you know, you don't have to be like world class, but they just gotta be accurate about the car. You know, a lot of times people don't want to put the bad parts of cars, like a rip seat or a dent or something that you didn't fix that, I don't know, like faded sun clear coat. You know, the people don't want to put that out there. It's better to be honest with your pictures so people know, and you get a reputation. Everything you're doing is building a reputation. You're building a brand, and you want to be known as an honest guy. You know, things happen in used cars, especially when you're selling older used cars, like we are, that you're paying $1,500 and less for. You know, those cars, you're going to have problems. So you want to be honest. I mean, I felt even to this day, the best way to deal with people is to look them at the face, tell them exactly, good or bad, what it's going to be, and go from there. And that's, your reputation is what your lot's going to depend on, especially if you're not moving. Like I said, Rick Dyer, he moves around a lot. He has a reputation in Florida. He's got a reputation in Arkansas. He's got a reputation in Missouri. He's got different reputations. I never planned on moving. I knew since day one I was going to be here. I also knew from day one that I'd probably sell cars to a lot of people that have worked for me over the years. I was in a restaurant business. I was a general manager of 5 restaurants in Louisiana area. I was a regional manager here in Mississippi. I ran all Landry seafood houses east of the Mississippi River. So I've had a lot of people that work for me over the years, a lot of waiters and waitresses that have kids, and their kids buy cars from me. I just know a few people. I know a lot of people. So I wanted to always deal with integrity. I want to be honest with people. That's why I offer a 7-day warranty on my cars. 7 days from purchase with the motor and the transmission. If either one go out in the first 7 days, I'll replace it on my dollar. After 7 days, it's on you. So I don't want people to feel like they drive off the lot and we're going as is, you know, the car's yours. I'm not trying to stick anybody. I'm here for the long run, but I'm only giving you 7 days, because what people do in your cars in 7 days is already hard enough. You never know what somebody's going to do with your car. They'll drive out of here and put power steering fluid in oil. Swear to God, they won't check the oil. I had a lady who bought a diesel truck from me, drove it for 5 months, came back and wanted her money back. I said, man, why would you want your money back after 5 months? It's a great truck. I drove it for a year. She goes, well, you know, I never got the oil change, and it started ticking. We're coming back from southern Florida. I'm like, so you drove the truck from Florida, you hadn't changed the oil since you bought it from me, and you drive it back and you hear ticking. I'm like, that don't sound good. Well, they got lucky. They went, I'm like, you need to let me check your dipstick. I pulled her dipstick, it's completely empty. She blamed me for it being empty. I'm like, diesel truck burn oil, some burn more oil than others. I'm like, you bought this car, you put not 13,000, she put 23,000 miles on it since the time she had bought it. They had been doing some driving. I'm like, man, it's your responsibility to make sure the car's got oil. It's not mine. These are the type of things that are going to happen. You got to be able to answer them. You know, now, what's the oil for when we get it? Before we drive our cars back from auction, we check the oil in all of them. We make a note if it's dirty. We change the ones that are filthy, all gummed up, and then we just top off the ones that need oil. That's what we do. At some point, we get the recondition center, we're probably going to offer free oil changes, because you want your cars to last. Once you get built up enough and you get enough business and you have enough money, everything's about money at first. And at first, I didn't have the money to do that. And it's something that I can do now since we bought the recondition center. Once I clear out some cars over there, we've been rebuilding so many cars. But anyway, we always make sure it's got full oil before we drive it back to the lot here. You know, just to make sure the car makes it. We don't want to blow up on the way here. And if number one most important thing in used cars is that you got to make sure they have oil. All right. So Dealer Car Search, Frazier, and why we offer a 7-day warranty. We put my glasses on here. What we got next? Phone system. All right. You don't have to, you know, when you open up and you're on like I said, I open up for 50 grand. You're on a budget, man. You want to get things done as cheaply as humanly possible that works. So when I first opened, you can go and hire a phone system company that gives you all the bells and whistles. They'll come and install it, and it's going to cost you $500-$600, maybe more than that a month. Or you can buy a VTech machine like I got here. So you see that? You can go to Office Depot's where I bought mine. It expands up to 4. You can have 4 lines coming in. That's what I got. I got 1 for the fax, and I got 3 rollover lines to the main line. So I got 4 lines coming into the place. But that's just relatively not expensive. When I first opened, I only had 2 lines hooked up of it. And as I've grown, I've hooked up more lines to it. But I know people that open up and they get a $1,000 a month bill on their freaking phones. I'm like, you got to be a smart businessman. You know, so VTech phones is a cheap way to get started. It can go up to 4 lines. That's all I need. I don't want it the fancy thing. You can put music on hold on it. You can put a message on it. You can do, and you can have up to 3 different lines coming in, 4 different lines coming in. So that's what we use. All right, appraising cars. Laser Appraiser is who I use. I think it's $69 a month, and you can make more subscriptions to it. It's where, you know, you go to auction. When you first go to auction, you'll see all the dealers. They're walking around with their phones scanning a VIN. A lot of them use the Mannheim app, which is another app you could use. I use Laser Appraiser, and I just use the JD Power that comes with it. So for $69 a month, I get JD Power, which is NADA, which is the one most banks use if I ever wanted to go that way. But it can give you the valuation of a car. It tells you what the wholesale value is, what the retail value is, what the auction value's been running, and it gives you a general idea on where you'll probably pay for the car. You know, when I buy a car, I like to pay under lowest trade-in. That's what I like to be at, because that's just where I want to be. And if you buy a $1,500 car, you should be those type of cars. Those cars might, you know, should show up like $2,000, $3,000 on what trade-in should be. So you're going to buy them cheaper than that because you're buying it at a wholesale auction. Anything over 10 years of age with over 200,000 miles, you should be able to get pretty cheaply. Especially right now, prices at auction are coming down. All right. So Laser Appraiser is who I use. It's an app on your phone. And and the best thing, reason I like Laser Appraiser, it works well with Android. That's what I have. And then you see the little app, VIN scanner. You scan the VIN, but also you can have a picture of the VIN number typed out, and you put your phone over the VIN, typed up VIN there. It'll recognize those many digits, you know, to give you. You'll read it from that. None of the other ones I used were as good as this one. That's why I stayed with it. I've been with them for years. So Laser Appraiser. All right. Credit cards. I didn't take credit cards when we first opened. I just did cash. I didn't want to ever pay the fees. You know, if you were to take, when I first opened, for the first few years, if you'd have taken 2% off of what I made, I wouldn't have been happy. I wanted to make as much money as possible. But now, you can, with companies like Reverse the Fees is a company I use electronic payments right now. And they charge the customer the fees for running the credit card. So I don't pay it, I make the customer pay it. If they don't want to pay it, they can come into the lot and pay cash. Or send us a money order. So they pay the 4%, they don't blink an eye. It's during tax season, they come in here with their little card they get their money loaded on, and they have no problem dropping. You know, these people are hurting for money, 99% of them, but they don't care about the 4%. And you know, 4% of $3,000, so you know, you can get up there. So these people pay $200, $300, $400 a credit card. If they want to do it, no problem with it, I'll take it. But past the fees, I use electronic payments. They give me all the credit card machines for free. There's no annual fee. The customer pays the charges. The money goes straight in your account that day. Chargebacks, I've had 5 in 2 years. I've won 3 and lost 2. When people get repoed, they try to charge you back, but most of the time, you just send all the signed-in paperwork. They'll put the money right back into your account. Because when you sign up with a credit card company, if there's a dispute, somebody argues it, they take the money immediately until they make a decision. Then they put it back. All right. Webpage dealer car search. Cars, appraiser, laser appraiser. All right, you're going to need to get auction access also. This is something else. Your auction access card is what allows you to bid on go to different auctions around the country, and it gives you access in there. If you don't have one when you first open up your dealership, you need to get you one. Auction access. That's what gets you into the auctions, okay? Everybody needs it. To go to Copart, you don't have to have it, but it makes things easier. To go to any auctions, you got to get your auction access, and you want to protect that. You don't want to let people use your license. I know a lot of people do. You know, I've also seen people get in trouble and get knocks on their license and not be able to go to certain auctions. that card is like gold to a dealer. That's where I buy 95% of my cars. So I never want to lose access to the auction. All right. Where do you get license plates and things like that? Like license plate with your logo on it. Let's see. Mine's back here. You see the little, me with my thumbs up? I get all that type stuff and grease pens that you can write on the car windows. Any type of marketing material. Who I use is MBR Marketing. But you also can get stuff at Amazon and eBay. All my flyers and flags on a lot I get from eBay. All the polls I get from eBay. So, but most of the stuff you can get that you can't find anyplace else, MBR Marketing. I'll get it. They ship it. I've done business with them for the last 8 years. Banners, eBay is where it's the cheapest. You'll probably find it cheaper than the local guy you have in town. You send them your proof work. You find and they'll send it back to you for your signs, your name, and whatever. All right. You want to get a Prime account. You want to also. It wouldn't be a bad idea if you get an Amazon. You know, I'm always trying to make a buck, man. I'm all about making money. So you know, the more you use something, the more points you get. You get your credit card set up with Prime, and that way, every time you run something, every time you order something, that gives you something. It gives you some money. All right. Jump boxes. You're gonna need things that you need, necessities. You're gonna need a jump box, and you're gonna need a little jump box. You can get those off of eBay. The big ones, the industrial, commercial ones, are the ones that I recommend having as a lot because you're gonna get the most charge from it. Those could be a pain in the butt to haul them around auction, and you can get little ones down for about, I don't know, $79 you can carry in your back pocket when you're at auction. You're also going to need a scan tool. You don't need the most expensive scan tool. You know, I never had a fancy scan tool until I was open for 4 years. After 4 years, I had somebody, a customer of mine who was a mechanic. He said, Mr. Henry, I don't have any money to pay you right now, but I got something that you might want. So I got a Snap-on tool scanner with programmed up to the last 3 years. So we've used that. You know, when you get mechanics that are good enough, they know how to use all that stuff. You can program keys. You can do a lot of different things with that. You can read all the codes, the deep codes. But all you need for auction is a little one. You know, a little one that tells you if you've got any transmission codes, you're going to want to bring that to auction with you each time. You can get those right on eBay too. Or you get them on Amazon. And you're going to need a small jump box. You know, the cars that don't start at auction, I'll give you a hint, are the ones you want to drive because you got a lot of car dealers are lazy. Once they get to a certain level, you know, sometimes I don't carry my jump box with me. I say, screw it. I'm not as bargain hunting as I once was, you know. I have a little more money to do things. So if the car don't have you can't jump it to start it, you got to jump it to start, I might not even mess with it. And a lot of dealers are like that. So when you're first starting, your car don't start, you're smiling. You know, it's like the lights on the dash. You hope every light on the dash is on because it run off a lot of dealers. You don't care. AC's not blowing in you to the south. You don't care about that either when you're buying $1,000, a car that's $1,000 or $700 because people are buying a car from you. They might want AC, but that ain't going to be a deal breaker. They're trying to get A to B, and that's the kind of cars you're selling. You know, what it also is very rewarding right now. You know, when you first open and you're buying shit boxes $1,500 and less, and you first getting started, dealers that have fancier lots, they all laugh. But let me tell you something. I ran off every other dealer in my town. I'm the only one left standing from when I first opened, and it feels good. It feels real good, you know, and I've grown, but always, cheap cars always sell, and if you stick to that program or not getting to too expensive of cars and getting an ego, it's what happens. People start selling more cars, they get to where I'm at, and all they want to do is buy more expensive cars. I never forget where I came from, and I know no matter what the economy is, cheap cars sell, and cheap cars always sell, and you could buy. You go with an auction. When I first started, I would go with $6,000, and I would buy freaking 7, 8 cars. You know, would you rather make $1,000, $1,500 off of 8 cars, or make $1,500 off of 1 car? That's the reality of the situation. That's the reality for you. You know, you want to make that $8,000 off your $8,000. You can't beat it. Best deal gone. That's why I did buy here, pay here. So, and especially right now, you know, the economy's rough. A lot of people are having problems selling cars. Auction prices are coming down. There's going to be some dealers shut down. You know, a lot of dealers don't pay for their cars cash like I'm recommending you ought to do with the $1,500 and less cars. So when the economy goes to caca and they're not selling any cars, you know, they got to pay that floor plan still. Every 30 days, that car, they got to pay that floor plan company interest on their money. You know, or they got whatever you want to call, whatever you want to say it. Yeah, and it gets expensive. And that's why most dealers close because they can't afford the floor plan. Then they finally sell the car, and it ain't enough to pay the curtailments on the car, and they make no money. You own your cars, you don't have to ever worry about that. Ever. Even if you go belly up, you still got the cars, and you can sell those. You know, they're worth something. That's why I recommended doing it this way. You know, when you operate them at first, you first starting, you on a budget, it's tough. But what isn't tough? Anything in life that's worth it is tough. You know, you want to be resilient, and you build up from there, and you get going. Like right now, the economy's terrible. A lot of dealers are having problems. I'm not having any problems. My repos are higher than what they've ever been, but we still got 600 customers that pay their freaking bi-weekly payments. So my problems aren't that bad. You know, I should have 800 because we've repoed, 120 in the last 2 months. So, but when you sell 450 cars the first 3 or 4 months of the year, you know, your repos are going to be high. You know, you got tax season in the car business, then you got locksmith and repo season. Because, you know, and buy here, pay here, you're going to repo a lot of cars. You know, even in the good times, you know, what right now, when COVID was going on, was the best ever. You know, I would sell 700 cars, and 500 people would pay their cars to term. So I might repo 200, or have 200 that are written off one reason or another, wrecks, whatever. Right now, before COVID, you know, I would be between, out of every 10 sold, I'd repo between 3 and 4. The closer I am to 3, the better off we were. The closer I am to 4, the worse off we were. But I never repoed more than 4 out of 10 until now. Right now, we're probably between 4 and 5, or almost half. People, don't matter what people put down on their cars either. You know, they might put $5,000 down and miss their first 2 payments. It's unbelievable. Who puts $5,000 down just to lose their money? I don't understand it. People are having a tough time. They should realize by now, you know, everybody in my area knows I'm gonna find my car one way or the other. Sooner or later, I'm gonna get my car. And I won't give up. Sometimes it might be 2-3 years before I found a car, but I found it. But repos are real rough right now. That's why I have, you know, I keep 100 cars in inventory. It tries to keep even out of tax season. But then my repos have been so high that I have 175 cars between here and the other lot that I'm waiting to bring here that I'm able to sell, but I just don't have no room for them. So repos have been higher than what they've ever been, but I'm getting majority. I haven't lost many cars, and I'm getting majority of them back. I'll resell them again and keep trying until I get people that pay. You know, if everybody paid, you know, I'd been retired a long time ago. You know, I've sold a ton of cars, but everybody don't pay. Banners, eBay, jump boxes, scan tool, collections, advertisement. Only advertisement I did when I first opened was free. Free because I had no money. So I did Facebook, I did Instagram, right now you can do TikTok. Whatever is free is what you want to do. And you want to do it as much as humanly possible. What I also did is I started a group, buy, sell, and trade and swap from the boot to Mississippi. So that group has 7,000 people in it now over the last 3 years. So that's just another way I can advertise cars. I'll let every dealer advertise, not just me, but you just want to get out there. You want to be able to advertise in places. That's just another area besides my car dealership. I got 11,000 followers on Facebook. You know, free advertising. Every time I make a post, it goes to 11,000 people. Can't beat that. Now, I have a lot of car dealers that watch my videos that subscribe to it too and get ideas. No problem, man. Nothing I do, I don't mind sharing. I'll tell you what I do, and if there's something that I didn't want to share, I tell you. You know, one thing you get clear in the buy here, pay business, you tell people that you set your boundaries, and you know when you say, hey, no. And then same thing, if there's something I don't want to tell you, I won't tell you. But 99% of the stuff here is wide open. I'll tell anybody who buys a car from me and anybody that's a dealer. All right. So no advertisement. I've never done any advertisement. You're going to need jacks. One of the things when you're going to need jacks to be able to get underneath cars, big power jack. You don't need a freaking lift when you first start. I just got my lifts. I have 3 lifts now. I had a dealership go out of town in North Mississippi. I bought all our lifts, and I'm over at the garage now. But I hadn't had a lift since I've been open. We've only had lifts for the last 3 months. It makes things easier, but you can get by with a jack and a freaking carport. You know, and that's if you buy a lot with a trailer. You know, get you a carport to work on, to detail your cars on it and have your mechanic work. I've changed probably 600 engines underneath the carport we had outside. All right, phone system, printers. Okay, printers, another thing. You don't need to get a printer service, man. Go to freaking Office Depot. I use HP. Brother's probably the cheapest, but my first HP that I used lasted for 4 years. We just died a couple years ago, but we used it for 4 years. That thing had sold freaking 3,000 cars before we retired it. But I buy, and when you get printers, and as you get bigger, think. I have 5 printers in this office. Every collector has a printer because they got to print receipts. Every salesperson has a printer. I have a printer, and my assistant manager has a printer. I have all the same kind because you're going to buy ink, and you don't want to have to go buy 20 different types of ink. So you buy the same printer, get the same ink. I use this HP 870 7740 is the one I use, and this one's been in here for 3 years, no problem. All my other ones still run. The toners you can buy on eBay cheap. You stock up on them. If somebody going out of business, you get them cheap. I load up like some, if I see toner cheap, I'm just gonna buy it. All right. What else we got? Web page. That's about it. Security system. Let me flip this around for you. All right. That's my state-of-the-art security system right there that I paid $30,000 to install, that has face recognition on it. Can tell if a face has been on my lot, when it's been on my lot. You can store stuff up to a month. Then I have this one right here, which is wireless. No, it's not wireless, but it's just one of the ones you buy off of eBay. It's a Swan system. I don't like it as much as the other one I use at the recondition center. We use, let's see, what's it called? First Trend. It gets as good a picture as the one I paid 30 grand for. Why did I pay 30 grand for that security system I have right there? That's the one that my auction uses. I got the name of the one they use because they got to keep an eye on their cars and they're real selling security. And I use the same guy he had. It might be overkill, but after the 10th time I had catalytic converters sold, the last time somebody came to the lot and sold catalytic converters, they had this little air machine. They had 5 people. 2 of them were out looking down the street, dressed in black, hoodies, flashlights. It was flash. The car was coming down the street, flashed their guys to shut all their equipment off. They shut the equipment off, and it would stop working. Flash the light back on, they'd go back again. My cheap security kits got pictures of them, but the pictures of their face weren't good enough. They hit me for about $5,000 worth of catalytic converters that day. My other lot, I got robbed 3 or 4 times over there. So you want cameras. You're gonna want cameras. Maybe it's not one of the first things you buy. I didn't buy one until after being open for 6 months. And you just want it. When you deal with people lie all the time. You want to be able to go back and play it. I paid them. I gave them the down payment money. You go back, replay the video. 99.9% of the time they're lying. They didn't pay them. And so, and you don't want to lose an employee over somebody lying. You also want those cameras because when you're emptying out repos, you want to have that kind of filmed and know what you're getting out of a car. You know how many guns we find? Guns in repos? This week alone, I think we got 6 guns. 2 shotguns, 4 9mm, the things that you get out of cars is unbelievable. So you just want to document things. The more things that you have documented is covering your ass. You always want to cover your ass in the car business and in any business, but video cameras help cover your ass, also helps you detect liars. They'll tell you that they paid your person, swear to it, hand on the Bible. You look at it, you watch them put the money in their pocket. It's not like a simple mistake where it's covered up by paper. No, they put the money in their pocket. So you just want video cameras for that. That's it. Those are the things I wanted to go over with you guys today. When I first got started, I didn't know where to get any of this stuff or where to get started. But things you're going to need right off the bat: jump box, scan tool, and a jack. Then you're going to need an orbital buffer. Harbor Freight is your friend, man. Harbor Freight. And the junkyard. You buy more stuff at the junkyard when you first open. Window regulator motors, they all, you can get them $25, $15 at some places. And you put them in your car way cheaper than paying $150 for it. And that's it. Hope y'all enjoying the series. We had 1,000 subscribers. Please like, subscribe. I'm doing this to help. It's the only reason I'm doing it. Oh, something else. I'm going to tell you more about it in my next video. Never mind. I'll tell you in the next video. So we're doing 2 videos today to kind of catch y'all guys back up. Thank you. Live to buy here, pay your dream, baby. It's worth it.